Well, hello. Welcome to Low 5 Gaming Podcast.
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
Said correctly. How are you? Good,
I'm
sir.
doing well. Who are you, anyways?
My name is Luke. We are on site today at the Luke Manor.
We are. We switched up
Yeah.
the studio. We brought the studio over to Luke's spot, doing it in here, so it might sound a little different for you all today, but hopefully not too much so.
No. And we are here to celebrate a very special near and dear game that we said we would never do on this year podcast, and yet here we are.
He says we, but if you look back at the backlog, I'm pretty sure it's you. It's just you.
I don't know who that man was, and I've been bothering Al. Al's the only person in the entire world that hasn't played Skyrim. There's little grandmas out there. They play Skyrim on the internet, and Alex has never scrimmed.
Yeah. So let's roll real back. We got Luke here. My name is Alex. This is Low 5 Gaming.
Yeah.
And we, as Luke has just dropped, are going to be talking about Skyrim.
Scrimmin'. The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim.
But before we get too far in, just want to say thank you to everybody that's been listening. We dropped this pod. We've been working on it for the better part of last year, 2021.
Yeah.
But we dropped it on January 15th? I believe so.
Yes, sir.
Something like that. Or maybe it was the first. Whatever. And we dropped it in January, got it out there, and we've been rolling them out now every 15th of the month. And it's been super cool to have people listening. It's a real thing. We kind of had like hypothetical fans in the past. And it's just really awesome. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for giving us the time. It's super cool. It's super cool to have that out there, and it's super humbling to have folks message us or talk to us about, listening to different episodes. It's really cool. It's kind of a fun thing. I think we kind of started this because it's a cool little thing for us to do and hang out. And with a podcast, I guess there's an assumption that people might listen, I guess. I don't know. But when it really boils down to it, it's been a really cool thing to be able to get together with you, Luke. And then this added layer of actually having folks listen to us, subscribe, and all that kind of thing is it's been wild. It's been cool to see. I'm kind of more behind the numbers and look at that stuff than you do, but yeah, it's been exciting and it's been super cool. And I just want to say thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah, been able to listen to our own jokes and laugh at your own jokes, and I feel like a psychopath doing that, but I did it a few times, so I enjoyed. You did a great job editing there, bud.
See, I listened in the editing process, and then I actually went through and I listened to them all.
There we go. Yeah.
So I listened to it a bunch, and they're kind of fun.
Yeah.
We do have a Discord now. That's something that a few folks have found in our show notes or maybe on our various social media channels, but we haven't really solicited it before today. But today, open invitation, if you check out the show notes, join us in our Discord. Kind of a cool little place just to talk games, kind of get some insight into what might be on the horizon for our next game. Some cool peeps in there so far, and looking forward to having you all join us.
I would love to get a listener forced game of the month,
yeah,
or at least a little mailbag thing. So
totally, so we'll get that rocking.
Put in some stuff.
Yeah, so definitely join us there. We'll chat with you. And my plan, anyways, is to start doing some live streaming to the Discord, and I would welcome other folks who join to do the same, just to kind of hang out and play some games together. So Skyrim, bud.
So Scrimmin', man. Somehow you've never played. I always wanted you to play. You got a PC. You bought Scrim on some sort of sale somewhere along it. It's oddly expensive wherever you go, and then just dirt cheap. So you just got to wait for it. It just happens that way. I myself have played it. I played it once when it came out 10 years ago. So it would seem that we are smart people, and we're like, on the 10th anniversary of Skyrim, we are going to play Skyrim. And it's like, no, it's just a brother who constantly annoyed his other brother to play this game. And then they came up with a podcast. They were to hang out and they play games. And he's like, he's never going to play his game. I want to tell stupid Skyrim stories. So here we are. But I played 10 years ago, and it was quite the magical time. I was a freshman in college, so of course I had super cool things to do, like come home for Christmas, get Skyrim as a gift, and immediately cave up and just be a troll for the following 2 weeks or so that I had off. So that was my story with it. And then somehow I've never played it ever again.
So did you beat it that first time around?
I did. And
so you went through the whole thing?
Probably north of 100 hours that playthrough.
Okay.
Maybe even more, because I definitely, after winter break, brought it back to the dorm.
Sure.
And I had a single dorm, so I was just crushing it, man.
I feel like
in
this,
the scrim.
So a lot of people.
Scrimming.
I did kind of an informal poll on the Low 5 Instagram, and I want to say It's a while back now, but I was asking folks, and granted, this is a kind of a gaming community that are my followers, they're gamers, so it makes sense. But I want to say that 86% of the folks that responded to the poll had played Skyrim.
Yeah, it was almost a miracle that you had found a way not to play it. You own 70 games that you play. You have owned so many more.
Totally, but this game. Played it. So the thing is I don't think a lot of the folks listening today to this right now you've likely played this game, but if you haven't, it's dope. This is my first experience with it, and it's been a lot of fun. So I would like Luke was saying, keep your eye on some sales for it, because it's always going on sale somewhere, because it's everywhere. It's on all the platforms. It's kind of a running joke that they'll continue porting it to whatever platform comes out to the end of time.
Which I defended in a previous podcast. It's a good game. Just deal with it.
But just some brief history on the game. So for those that don't know, or just cover the bases real quick, it's an open world action role-playing video game developed by Bethesda, which is now owned by Microsoft, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Welcome to the conglomerate.
Dang. But yeah, so it is, I want to say, the 5th game in the series of the Elder Scrolls, right?
Elder Scrolls 5. So if you want to be real technical, it is not Skyrim. It is the Elder Scrolls 5.
That throws me off all the time in my Steam in my Steam launcher, because I'm looking for Skyrim and it's like, oh yeah, the Elder Scrolls. So I got an alphabetical, Yep. This was first released for Windows, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 back in 2011. Since then, it's been ported to just about everything. The game shipped over 7 million copies within the first week of its release and sold 30 million copies on all platforms by 2016. So, a lot of people have played this game. And it's 2022 now. So,
were you aware of any of the Elder Scrolls before this one?
I was. So, back in the day, I had, I don't know which one it was, though. So, here's the thing. I knew they existed.
Yeah.
And I did dabble in one of the Elder Scrolls. It might have been Oblivion, but I can't be for sure.
I definitely don't think it was Oblivion. I would have seen it.
You think so?
Yeah. Ian Weimer was the only person I knew that had, and I remember watching him do some goofy.
It would have been for the PC stuff way back in the day, though. So
yeah. So Oblivion is 4, I want to say. So that's the one right before this. So
do you know what 3 is?
I want to say it's Morrowind.
Pop Grizz. That's it. That's the one. So I had Morrowind on the family computer way back in the day, but it was one of those games where there's a lot of reading involved, which wasn't really a problem, but it was all at that time.
A lot of text.
I just wasn't ready for a game that wasn't going to hold my hand.
It's pretty crunchy CRPG. Yeah.
So it's I started it and I just had no idea what to do with the game. So I went around and I gave it a couple of attempts, but I'm telling you, I was probably 13, 12 or something like that.
A little early, yeah.
So I honestly would jump into this world, be reading, be like, oh, it's kind of tight, but I'd sneak around, steal shit out of houses and unlock some doors and stuff.
That you probably, and this wasn't the high powered internet of today where you get answers right away.
Right. So it's one of those games that I honestly didn't put that much time into it, but I do have some pretty distinct memories of firing the game up and trying it out, and then it just didn't hold my attention at that time. But I don't know. Have you gone back and played any other ones? Or
I attempted because I got 4 for $3 on a Steam sale once. I played a little bit, but I was kind of burnt out by then. But I kind of joked earlier, I remember watching a buddy play on his Xbox 4, I think is what it was, and it was really goofy, and he was up to something weird and wonky, and they're very popular games. It's a strong lineage of all those Bethesda games. I mean, their reputation is something now, especially Fallout. These huge open world RPGs, there's a sandbox, you just have so much fun within them, and it's this game specifically became the biggest one ever, really, and it's kind of dwarfed the popularity of all the others in the series. And I'd say for the most part it's probably bigger than any singular Fallout game, but I've just kind of always had it around. So there's when I played it and all my friends were playing it when it first came out. And then we always call it Scrimmin' because of your buddy Al Lauer.
Yeah, shout out to Al Lauer. But so that was my first introduction to the game. That would probably been back around the time of launch, 2011-ish.
Yep.
But I lived with a couple distant relatives. Not too distant.
Scoundrels, yeah.
First cousins twice removed, I believe.
Yeah, sounds very
Our grandpas were cousins.
But continue.
But anyways, the homie Al Lauer, he had at the place we were staying, he had the upper, the second level, this lofted, not lofted, but it was the second level. That was a bedroom.
Attic
kind
bedroom.
of an attic bedroom type deal.
Den.
But in the front part of that room, the entryway is where his office was. And it's,
office is generous.
Yeah.
It was a raggedy old desk with a tower of PBRs that have been crushed while
for
scrimming.
sure. So we even though, so I had a laugh when I started this game because within the first 2 minutes they say Skyrim.
Yeah.
It is. You're playing Sky. So this is just Al, like just totally running with like you just calling it Scrim because he wanted to.
Yeah. And he had a few PBRs. It was Scrim.
Totally. So it's like, where's Al? We haven't seen him in like 3 days. Oh, he's scrimming.
He's
up there scrimming. So I have some fond memories of walking up there and being like, at this time I wasn't playing too many video games. Like I would dabble a little bit, but it was just a stage in my life where I wasn't gaming as much.
He was collecting memories, not cartridges, guys.
Yeah. But I was game curious still.
Game curious.
So it'd be fun to walk up, see Al pounding the papers, stacking them up on the desk, and just scrimming away, and then be like, "So show me this game." And be like, well.
Then you get to describing it and it'd make no sense. You're like, I'm gonna go back downstairs.
And I recently got to see him. He lives in Argentina now with his wife Clara, but he came up to visit, and it was fun because he found out that I had been playing this for the pod, and he was like, "Dude, don't do what anybody tells you to do. Just do whatever you want in this game." It's great and advice. Just have. And it's I've heard that from a few folks,
in his voice as well, so that's extra charming.
But I appreciate that, and that's kind of how I have approached my play time. I'm gonna say I was gonna say play through, but I have not finished this game.
And then, do you remember my buddy Ace at my bachelor party? He had recently purchased it on the Switch.
Oh, really?
So Ace is in and out of consciousness towards the end of the night, caught a big dip in, and he's just scrimming along.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what he was playing.
Most of his communication was in grunts in that form, but my man still two-hand battle axing.
Sure.
And then one more is my buddy Tyler. He does warn that it is a bit like just slipping into a massive heroin addiction where you might just lose all of your Minnesota winter months and be like, what day is it? What quest am I on anymore?
Yeah.
So he getting a little lost in the sauce. So there's your shout out there. Right on.
But yeah, so that was my introduction.
Part of the zeitgeist, man. You're now an official. You had a cool gamer jacket and you were missing a patch, man.
I mean, I got that varsity bar now.
We didn't make varsity, but you
save me, bro. Save me.
But you at least can like talk with the jocks now.
Totally, it is
about
fun.
Some scrim. But you definitely don't have the varsity bars, my dude.
Nah,
you didn't go all state in scrim. Even I barely start, man.
Sure. And it is fun. Like it is cool to finally have a little base understanding of why this, why people love this game so much and why it has been around for 10 years. And still, granted, it was an anniversary release this in 2021, which coincidentally we're not playing. We have like the special edition release on our PCs. So more people are playing it again, I think, than ever before. And it'll be really interesting to see the legs on this game. I think it's going to be 10 years from now. I think folks are still going to be playing this fucking thing.
Yeah, we'll get into it. But like, the game is a bit of a blank canvas with some suggestions.
Sure.
Some choices you can make. I don't play D&D. I kind of wish I did, but I assume it has a very, very strong connection to that type of role play.
Right.
So getting right into the playing the actual game, the character choice. One of my favorite things, like one of the things I look forward to the most when I was like, you got to play it. So I wanted to know what character you would create. I very infamously, when I first played 10 years ago, was like, I freeze up when I have to make these decisions. So I have all these character classes, and my buddy Carter just plays as a human. He plays as a Nord. I was like, what's wrong with you? He's like, I don't want them to react too weird to me. I just want to be a base guy. I'm like, you can be anything, and you're going to be a Nord.
Sure.
But the first time I played, I had all this pressure, and then I read all the different things it does, and I was like the Aragonian or like the lizard folk.
Right.
And I was like, can breathe underwater and slightly regenerates health. And I was like, hell yeah. And then I found a necklace that allowed you to breathe underwater that weighed less than a pound about 10 minutes into my first playthrough. So
oh, really? That's
yeah,
cool.
But I was a cool lizard dude. So I didn't hate it too much, but I always kind of laughed at how strongly that weighed into my decision when I first played and then how instantly irrelevant it was.
Now, are you talking about your first ever playthrough or this recent one?
So that was 10 years ago. So this time I was a high elf, which is I wanted to do some magical stuff, and I'll get into that later. But I named him Elfo. So if you're a fan of Disenchantment, Matt Groening joint on Netflix. Hi, I'm Alpho. It's just, that's it. So I thought of that to myself as I run around fucking shit up and scrim.
Right on, I like it.
After all these years, what did you choose?
So I went with Redguard.
Boring ass human. What?
Dude, I didn't fucking know. I didn't do any research prior to making the choice.
I was like, yeah, but he's not white.
That's true. But
all right.
That is true. I just thought he looked dope. The character build, when you flip through, I just was like, well, this dude's super fucking cool. I'm going to go with this.
He's not from the Skyrim continent, right?
Right. So Redguard is like an area outside of Skyrim, apparently, with a little lore that comes with each character. So I thought that was kind of cool. I thought the dude looked badass. So I was like, I'm just going to go with this guy.
Any special skills, or is it more of a
so
blank canvas?
I didn't do enough research. Like, so that's the thing about my character. I'm having a lot of fun with this game, and it is one of those things that choose your own adventure, right? But none of my character. I'm like the anti-Skyrim player where my character's build. He's a two-handed warrior basically, but I did a bunch of the Thief Guild deals. So like, I'm this sneaky two-handed warrior,
sneaky butcher,
dude. Pretty much, it's just ridiculous. But for special abilities that come along with Redguard, you get 50% resistance to poison and an adrenaline rush. And I couldn't tell you what the adrenaline rush is.
Is it like your special power that you use once a day?
No, maybe, man. See, that's just the thing. I don't know.
I think it is, because I have one of those. It's like the Highborn. Okay. It's like I get to regenerate a bunch of magicka if I'm ever like, no, cool. Gotta cheese it and gotta get in there. But yeah.
One of the reasons I did decide to go with Redguard, though, is because they're supposed to be this like physically powerful race. And I've mentioned it in prior podcasts, but my play style in a lot of games is just to go in as a tank. So I was like, I'm just gonna go all in on this whole tank like deal that I do.
Sure.
So I was like, okay, powerful. The hand-to-hand combat, like, and all that kind of thing makes a lot of sense with the Redguard, because they're supposed to make great warriors or thief type characters. So I'm like this weird mesh of the two.
Do you actually sneak?
Dude, kind of.
I go barreling in like a jackass at all moments, and I start sneaking, and then I'm like, nope. Yeah. And then I instantly get caught, and I don't care. But do you actually execute the sneak pretty well?
Do I sneak? Yes. Do I execute the sneak well? No. I will sneak it. What I like to do is and this is something I kind of developed. I didn't even do in my first 20 hours of play. I'm about 45 hours in now. But the first 20 hours, I didn't really sneak at all, even though I was doing all these Thieves Guild missions. What I like to do, but I also wasn't using my bow and arrow very much, right?
Oh, you're not a sneak archer, man. That's like
well, that's what I've started to do more of, because I figured so I have the two-handed. I usually use this big ass fucking hammer, two-handed deal. I also have this a big like two-handed sword. I go back and forth between the two of them, both like dwarf-ish deals or whatever. But anyways, yeah. So what I like to do now is I like to sneak into an area and kind of not scout, like sneak into an area just so I see some enemies, and then I like to get at least one or two good shots on my bow, and then I just run after them with my hammer.
Yeah. I do about the same. So as much as the game is malleable, like your true playthrough will kind of always find itself. So I was like going to be all magic focused. I was like,
I was wondering if you kept to that or not.
Man, no. I still spend way too much time just like crafting armor, which is
I feel like everybody I talk to is like, oh, I want to do like I'm because a lot of these folks I talk to I've already played, and they're like, I want to do a magic build, and like everybody's like, I want to fucking do this magic build.
Ace said it best. He's like, you start off doing this, and you just ended up with the two-handed battle axe, messing people up. Like, and then you do like I did the destruction thing, and like I did read on the internets, and I was horned by Ace that like. The destruction magic is like kind of underwhelming. Like you start off and it's kind of cool, but like it doesn't go anywhere.
Sure.
Too strong. Like it kind of in the later levels isn't as effective and kind of annoying. And I just found that the only way for me to ever win battles was like start off like blasting a bunch of fireballs, and then I would like go in with my sword and shield or shoot some arrows. So I always ended up doing such a blend. And I play like such an idiot. I always just like bounce around anyway.
Sure.
So like if like you said, if you can't even be tied to a master when it comes to storyline, sometimes I'm bored and I want to do a double-handed weapon, or I want to do some shield bashing. Did you ever use a shield?
Nah, man, not at all.
You gotta unlock all the shield bashes. They're great.
I mean, I bet.
Love me the shield.
So I shouted out Al earlier, and I'll shout him out again. But when I was talking to him most recently, he was like, "Oh, dude, you gotta do the shield sword combo. It's so fucking fun." And I'm like, okay, like. But I got this two-handed fucking thing that I got going on.
The push block.
I do a little bit. I started to play with that a little bit, which is cool. But the thing is, dude, like, so my one-handed ability is about 25 right now. My two-handed is 84, and my overall level is 27. So like 84 is by far the highest. Like, which goes to show that I have. Well, one, I kind of overloaded that because I knew that I wanted to do this tank thing.
Yeah.
So I overloaded that at the get-go when you're building out your character to begin with. But because you're always fighting. Like that's just a trait that gets like heightened or whatever, And I was really focusing on that because for a long time before I was like, well, maybe I should make archery a little better,
Yeah, I mean the archery kind of naturally gets because you'll find somewhere where they can't get to you and you just peck them off like a jerk. So that usually gets your skills up. There's a lot of ways to cheese this game, and the game kind of encourages you to just do whatever, cheese it as you please.
So you bring that up, and that one of my So I was telling you, I don't sneak. I did I'm almost immediately
Thieves Guild mission with a double-handed weapon. Then
yeah. So I tried to approach the game without too much of a, I wanted the game to guide me to play it that way. And though just the way it happened is all of a sudden I was in where's the Thieves Guild stuff is Riften, I want to say. So I ended up in Riften. And
do you know geographically where that is?
Yeah, it's in the cool map, southeastern. It is a really cool map. It's in the southeastern corner.
Yep.
And so I was spending a lot of time there, and I got turned on to some Thieves Guild missions. And the storyline between, I don't know if you played the Thieves Guild missions or not.
I've never actually.
They're super fun, dude. I don't know. I haven't played a bunch of the other stuff, so I really did enjoy that mission set. And I played right up to the part. I'm really close to completing it, but you end up getting this thing called the skeleton key. Yeah. And it's a lockpick that doesn't break.
Oh man, I should do that.
It's so dope. And with the game and the storyline though, so there's one of the bad guys. So there's the Nightingales is this group of super thieves or whatever. Which, by the way, the Nightingale armor that you get, so I unlocked that, and the armor's so fucking. You look so fucking cool, dude. Although I did see you show me your armor too, and I was like,
I'm
obsessed
with
dope.
smithing, dude.
Yeah.
From the first time I played it, I had to get this dragon armor, which was the top one.
Sure.
And, it looks super cool. Not practical, but looks super cool. It's super heavy, but yeah.
Dude, my guy, so I got the Nightingale armor. My dude pretty much just looks like Shredder. It's from the Turtles. He's dope.
Yeah, no, I was jealous. I was like, where'd you get that armor?
Right. No, so anyways,
how did I not see this?
So as part of the storyline in the Thieves Guild mission, you get this armor. I won't go into too many of the details, spoiler type stuff, but you know, whatever. Sorry, spoiler. You get a fucking cool key that doesn't break.
Scrim nonsense.
But the thing is in the storyline, basically the dude that had this key is like a bad guy. And and the whole thing is you're supposed to return this key because no one should have this key. It's too much power.
Oh,
to not be. But it's Skyrim, so just like anything else, with the way the story goes, it's I should probably go return this. That's the next thing to do. But it's Skyrim, so I can probably wait 14 human real life years before I actually return it. It'll be just fine, right? Yeah. So at first I was like, well, I can't be the douche with that now has a skeleton key. And then I was like, actually, I'm going to be the douche with the skeleton key because I want to be able to unlock anything, and I can now.
There's a mission Ace likes to keep a dog where it's just your companion. He goes, and I just don't finish the mission, so I have this sweet dog companion.
See, that's just it, man.
But I did it, and he'd just bark all the time. And then Winston would start,
you monster.
No, I finished the mission. No, but then my dog Winston would be like, oh. And he'd get all intense. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to chill. Don't you be barking. It's just stupid.
You just like another homie.
Nah, he's like, protect this house. And I'm like, no need. It's just some demonic dog thing.
Sure. I bring up the whole Thieves Guild story though because
where was that going?
Because during the Thieves Guild missions, I pretty much just ran in. I tried to sneak, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna tank this shit. But there were a couple where you are really supposed to sneak through this area. But I didn't have that in me.
No,
so what I did,
you're tired.
So what I did, and I don't remember the exact area. It was this big, you're always down in some weird cave dungeon shit or whatever in this shit, right?
Always.
So, but there was a particularly large stretch where I just sprinted through. And honestly, dude, there were 30 enemies that were just chasing me. And I was like, fuck it. If I get through and get to the other side of this door, I'll be fine, and I'll just be able to move on.
Yeah.
Turns out in Skyrim, the enemies can come through the doors as well.
Yep.
So, and it auto saves. And I've got some other stories around saving, but so I didn't save in a good enough point. Basically, my save point was coming through this door, and then I was like, okay, maybe this will work. Maybe I'll get out of the game, get back in, and it won't those enemies won't load up or whatever. No. So
I'm still ready for it.
So my save file, even I get back in. I'm in the next, I'm past the cavern that I sprinted through, but 30, 40 enemies. And at the time, mind you, there's two of the Nightingales are with you. I think it's Carlia and Brynholf or something like that. But anyway, so they're with me, right? Yeah. So the two homies with me in this mission. So I sprint, they come through as well. So do all these enemies. I'm just getting murdered every time. There's my guy was probably I was probably a 17, 14. I was fairly low at the time. And even so, I think the game scales up with you.
Yeah.
So I couldn't just
varying levels of effectiveness.
So here's what I did though, because you brought it. The reason I'm doing this long-winded story is because you brought up cheese in the game, and this is one prime example. What I did is I went through the door. All these enemies followed me, so I went back through, and then I found
solution.
And then I found a weird little hut to hide behind. So I hide behind this little hut.
Master assassin.
Dude, and
Master thief.
And then the way that works is Karliah and Brynjolf are fighting all these enemies and they can't die. Like I don't know, whatever.
No, they're super tanked up.
Yeah, so they're fucking real good. Two, when they do run out of health, I assume they have a health bar like or whatever, but they're able to heal themselves. So
you just watched them.
So I just hid behind this house or little hut deal, and I let them take out all 40 enemies or whatever it was, and I was like, "Cool, all right, let's continue."
Master assassin strikes again. That's wild.
But that's it. That's only like the most. It's not even like it was like an exploit of sorts, you know. So like,
I mean, that's the most Elder Scrim story of all Elder Scrims. No, that's awesome. I didn't do the Thieves Guild ever. Did you do the wizarding college?
No, so I am now because I think it's the main. I don't know, dude. The storyline's going on like that. I get pulled in so many directions.
You're like a dragonborn, by the way, and you talk to dragons, and someone's bringing dragons back to life, and I think you gotta kill them or something. But like, as much as this is urgent, like people got petty squabbles, and you got some looting to do, so you get to it if you want to.
So I joined the Wizard College now, but I haven't done many of the missions yet. I've done like ended up doing a book fetching mission or whatever. It is kind of cool.
A lot of fetching. And a lot of you don't actually need magic as much as you just need to smash your way through stuff.
So the reason I got introduced to the Wizard College is because I knew from a little interneting that was a place where I could, for lack of a better term, in a house, right? So like you're given a room. If you join the college, you're given a room.
Archmage.
No. Well, maybe I don't know. That's
you
that's
just
news
wanted
to
a
me.
dorm.
Dude. So I just wanted a dorm. So because I was playing this game,
shitty posters, like a babe over a car, like
for real, dude. But I was doing these Thief Guild missions, right? Yeah. Which means I'm like going into these places and I'm stealing shit. I got a shit ton of loot, so I did so many times. I'd fast travel back to Riften all the time to unload.
You didn't get the house in.
I did get a house eventually.
Oh, okay. What's the main place that you're supposed
Whiterun.
Yeah, in Whiterun. You got to get that house right away.
So I did I did end up getting that house, and then I maxed it out because I had a bunch of money from all my thieving.
Save money on that dorm life.
Dude, but no, that's just it though. I knew that the dorm would be a place. So I was selling a lot of my shit, but there's certain items that you get that you want to hold on to, right?
Yeah.
But they're too heavy to hold because you max out at a certain point.
Inventory management is insane in these games.
So like
I got you to go to the computer, like mouse and keyboard versus the controller.
I did, yeah. So I initially started playing with the controller, but the moving to the keyboard was a great move. But I was talking to a homie, my buddy Nick. Shout out to Nick over at Brunson's. But I was talking to him one night because I was like, I have all this stuff and I'm carrying around. There's certain items that I don't want to get rid of, so I don't want to sell them. But I was like, I do it on these Thief Guilds missions, so the Ratway or whatever is like where they all hang out. And there's like beds and like little chests or whatever. So I was like, if I just like,
glamorous.
Well, the thing is like you don't own them. So like the way that this game works is you can theoretically store things there. But you don't know when, but at some point, someone else or whatever, they just won't be saved there. Like they can disappear, right?
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Like it's just like on a time thing or whatever. Like theoretically, like, I don't know, maybe someone came around and took them. So I needed to figure out a solution for storing my stuff. So I was like, okay, I need to start focusing on trying to figure out how to get a house. And I didn't want to spend any money on a house. So I was like, I'll join the college. Show up at the college, and the wizard at the door was like, "You need to perform this thing." And my magic skill wasn't high enough because I'm got an 84 fucking two-handed deal. Didn't care about anything. It wasn't 84 at the time, but the point is like I've been maxing out not my magic.
Yeah.
So then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I got all this money. I'm gonna go figure out where to buy a house. I bought a house in Whiterun. Figured out that problem. But I have recently returned to the college because the main storyline has brought me there.
Oh, word. Yeah. No, I always set up shop outside of Whiterun in my 2 playthroughs. One, because that house is right next to like a nice situation, like a nice blacksmith.
Yeah.
And this game might as well be blacksmith / merchant simulator to me, because all like the amount of hours I've spent just fast traveling between locations to buy up like iron ore and iron ingots.
That's interesting
and leather
straps
done any of this just to make 100 daggers, just to sell the daggers, just to run up the fucking hill to enchant the daggers, to sell them for more money / get my enchant and smithing up. And it's so dumb.
Does it work pretty well though?
Yeah, I mean, it's like how you cheese up your stats to get like higher smithing, higher enchanting, but also like I have to, like, people have limited supplies, or like merchants can only sell, they only have so much money to like barter with. So like you'll just fast travel from place to place, just getting supplies. So like my home base is always there and you can dress it up. But this playthrough, I didn't even know this, but you can like build a house. You like get some land, and then you got to like buy lumber and some other things. Then you like, I don't know. You build it. You kind of just pick it out and make sure.
So you started this process?
Yeah, I will show you when we're done. I'll show you my sweet crib. It's pretty sweet. Your dorm room looks like for nerds compared to mine.
Well, dude, I have my house in White Rock.
But even that house, this house got like a tower on it. Like it's pretty sweet.
Right on.
Did you even get to the western portion of the map? How much of this map is like how many big cities have you not even discovered?
I have no idea. To be honest.
Well, there's the ones that are on your map no matter what. There's like Murkoff or something like that I didn't even get to this playthrough. Like last time I played for well over 100 hours, but this game is huge.
How far are you in on this playthrough?
Like 70 some hours.
Okay.
I'm like a level 43. I'm about 40. So
you're what, 43?
I'm a level 43. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm 27.
Last time when I played, I was like a 60 to a 70. So I played even.
69.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I probably would have thought that was hilarious in my sweet dorm room back then. But yeah, no. So I did the winter stuff, the college stuff this time pretty early because I thought that would really give me a leg up on sweet magician stuff.
Sure.
And it kind of did, but it's like I don't like running around without armor because I have to do a lot of fighting anyway. So like I ended up just being a smith again and just having sweet sword and shield skills. And
fell back in what you know.
Yeah, you always fall back, and then I'd do the enchanting stuff too. So like I'd have really cool sets of stuff, and that's like kind of what I obsess over. This game like really loves to let you just obsess over what you want to.
Sure.
Which is mostly smashing and looting.
Yeah.
The amount of caves I've been in, my dude, where you see the same assets.
Mm-hmm.
But the game's kind of genius in the sense where like I almost want like you could like sometimes they have these deep little stories kind of contained within the mission, and like you can kind of tell that like they have these base assets to work with, but like so they're not going to uniquely render each vase, right? So you have like vase 1, vase 2, vase 3, but like I almost think it would be a really cool class to like have like your English students or something like write a little script and a little like playthrough like with that engine, if that's not too nitty gritty. Or like, because I thought about that a lot when I was going through these weird deep dives into caves and dungeons and things and seeing the same stuff and seeing how they repurpose all these things to tell these little stories. I was like,
do you read all the books?
No. But I respect the fact that they got.
I open them up because sometimes they'll up your levels.
Yeah, sometimes I got skills, so I've opened the same book probably 50 times.
Yeah, totally.
But no, like when you're in these caves and the way they like kind of lay these things out, it's almost like if they released a game. Like, you ever play Mario Maker much?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I played.
Like with the assets in this game, you can make these little cave runs and stuff that I think would be really cool.
That would be tight.
Yeah, just the openness to do whatever you want and go hunting dumb things and looking for loot all the time. That's all I really ever do. So sometimes I'm so far from the storyline, I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? I've just been looting caves.
Kind of, I'll be honest, man. Like the main story of this game, I'm whatever. Like it's fine, it's cool, but it's
there.
It is there, but the draw of this game is definitely the openness, I think, and the fact that you can kind of do so many things or whatever you want. Like I was starting to push the main storyline just so that I would be like have more knowledge to be able to talk about it. But honestly, I don't think I'm that far. Like,
I don't want to listen to what the people have to say either. I'm like, just tell me what to do and what the thing I got to smash and what I got to grab. And
oh, dude, that actually backfired on me a little bit because I was like totally in on some side mission. I don't even remember the name of the town, but I was just running around like checking off like the list of some weird mission I was doing. So I'm like, I'll just go kill these people, grab this thing.
Yeah.
So I was doing that. I don't remember exactly. There was some treachery. There was some like, I don't know what was going on, but at the end of it, like basically what happened is I was framed for some murders.
Framed even though you did all the murders?
No, like there's some other murders going on. I mean, I did a lot of murdering, but like, so essentially there is like, I'm being blamed for like all this shit. So there's a town that if ever I go to, like the guards there always try to, dude, they don't like me there anymore.
Nice.
Kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, no, I like it.
I should have done a better job of listening and reading during those missions.
Regret nothing. Did you become a werewolf or a vampire?
I haven't done that stuff yet, no. But I've been invited to be a vampire hunter when I haven't followed up on that mission yet. The werewolves, I haven't run into any of them yet.
You didn't do any of
I haven't even
Brotherhood stuff in Whiterun?
Nope.
That's how you get it.
Okay.
And it is cool. I did it my first time. I didn't feel like doing it again.
Sure.
And then people say you're supposed to match the vampirism with the magic stuff. And I didn't want to do that because I don't want to be limited. Because I don't.
You're gonna run around at night and stuff too.
Mostly. I think there's some protections, but mostly. And I didn't want to do that.
So I actually, I haven't done the vampire stuff, haven't done the werewolf stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't even picked a side in the war.
Oh man. I pick the same side each time, and I'm really annoyed because the one side tries to kill you, and I'm just like, well, fuck that, man.
So there's the Empire, or what do they call it? I don't know.
It's
and then there's the Nords or something.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on in the Civil War. I don't listen to people when they talk about it. I'm like, I don't care. Like, so I truly
doing the missions can be cool. Is the only reason. It's the Imperials.
Oh, okay.
And the Rebellion, and the Rebellion's got some sort of name to it.
Sure.
But this is what I mean. I think they intentionally make both sides ambiguous as far as like there's no clear right or wrong.
I'm wondering if I'll get forced into choosing or not. Do you?
No, not through the main storyline.
Okay.
But like eventually, I don't know. Doing the raids when you take like forts and castles and stuff, those are pretty fun. So I'd say it's worth that, but I accidentally always join the Rebellion, the Stormcloaks.
Oh, that's what it is. Yep,
the Stormcloaks. I always end up starting with them, which is also annoying because of the Winter College. That I realized the first time I retraced the same. I wanted to play it entirely different, and I did mostly all the same stuff the second time I played it. But that's all on the eastern side of the map.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas the Imperial strong bases are on the western side of the map.
Okay.
So I've just played in that area so much more because of the college and the things like that. So that's why I end up picking that side.
I've definitely dabbled around. I have no idea. If you scroll out, I can see that I have discovered a bunch of areas throughout the map. So although I've been all over the map for different missions and stuff, I definitely have focused the majority of my time over to the eastern part of the map, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. It is a massive, and when I first started playing this game, at the early stages of it, this was before I figured out that save scumming is good in this.
Yeah,
right.
You gotta save scum.
So I don't remember exactly these early on missions what was going on, but as you know, if you're just walking or riding your horse around Skyrim, you will just run into shit, right?
Yeah,
and you'll be like, oh, I'll go into this thing, see what's going on in there, and so. I went into some weird cave in the side of a mountain, checked that out. So it auto-saved for me. I was like, all right, cool. But I was going to check out the Whitebeards. It was before I even, or Greybeards or whatever they are. So I had to go from that save point because I had stopped to do something else or whatever. But anyways, from that save point, I rode my horse all the way to the city because I had discovered the city where at the bottom of the mountain.
Where the orc kills you
yeah, dude.
Because you're a bitch.
Dude, whatever.
I had to save scum to beat that orc. Is whatever. He was tough. It took me 2-3 tries.
Well, that's just it. So it's super early on in this game, and you run into I had taken on the first dragon, but those level up with you as well. So it's not.
We should definitely talk
about
fighting dragons sometime.
Sure.
But yeah.
But so I hadn't really had too much trouble with any enemies to this point, but then there's this stupid snow orc thing on my way.
You have to give him an honorable death.
Well, dude, so that's another thing. So I could have saved. Well, I mean, you can just save regardless, but I didn't do anything in the town that would have done an autosave.
Yeah.
So I just went up this thing to go see what's going on with the Greybeards, and this orc kills me, right? And I was like, God damn. So my save brings me back to this mountain which is a solid 15-minute horse ride. Yeah, so I got to do this horse ride. I'm stupid, so I didn't save again. The orc kills me again. Dude, I had to do that 4 times, and then I learned my lesson finally. But I was like, okay, you save here, and then if the orc kills you, then you can pick it up right at that point.
Gotta save all the time.
I do. I figured that out. So there's kind of a cool system to that. You can quick save. I mean, it will auto save for you. The quick save is nice. I did figure out over time that definitely just save all the time. Don't worry about it. There's no shame in the save game.
All you're doing is robbing graves and smashing and looting the undead and selling things that, the amount of wars I've started with just the daggers I've sold, some got to end up in some kids' hands. I made 1,000 daggers to get my smithing skill up. So you know what? I'm a warlord. I'm a bad person.
I love it when you have a companion on with you in a couple of these missions or whatever you're doing, and you'll be looting shit, and they'll be like, "Don't take that." And it's like, whatever.
Why'd I bring you along,
nerd? Yeah, that's what we're here for, bud.
Yeah, no, I definitely will be robbing people blind. I'd be like, oh, I'm like, shut up. That's not what this is about.
Dude, I ran into this point though, and that's one of the problems with all the side questing and kind of doing whatever the game wants you to, or whatever you want to do within the game is. So we're, like I mentioned, playing the special edition, so I have a bunch of DLC content.
Yeah,
but I didn't know, like,
fucking Mirak,
dude. Yeah, so I started doing the Mirak stuff because it was kind of cool, but I had also been doing the main campaign stuff, I think. But there's 2 warrior ladies, right? And I had met both of them, saved it, came back a couple days later. I think I went on vacation, and then I came back. I don't remember exactly. The point is, there's a big enough break where when I came back, I started talking to one of the ladies, and I just assumed that she was like main content lady.
It sounded similar enough to what you were up to. I did the same thing. Yeah. And I was like, I don't remember this from the game, but it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, so I thought I was doing my stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, here's that warrior lady. I'll just follow her again. All of a sudden, I'm like in some weird, I'm
Solstheim.
Yeah, Solstheim, or what is it called? It's
Solstheim. It's like an island.
Yeah, Solstein. But there's Mirak's just going on, and then I think I was talking to you, and
you're
like,
He's a dragonborn as well.
Yep. I mean, it's a cool storyline, but the thing is, and it's like the missions are cool, but I started progressing to a point where all of a sudden this Mirak dude, he like stole a dragon soul from me. And now it's like I don't remember because I looked it up, and I was like, oh man, this dude's just gonna keep stealing souls from me.
And you need to unlock some shouts in order to beat him.
Which I have, so I've done all that stuff.
So you got that. At least you have the shouts you need to beat him. Because I did not have the shouts unlocked to beat him, and he kept stealing the souls. So I had this awful problem.
Well, I haven't beat him yet, so I don't know if I have the one. I think I do. I can't remember what it's called, but there is like, I was doing those, and so I have the shout that takes the dragons out of the sky. But I think that was main mission stuff.
Yeah,
that was a main mission shout.
Yeah.
And there's another shout that I learned there. I can't remember what it does. But yeah, he's totally a pain in my ass now. So like now I'm like, I was just going to avoid that because when I learned that was DLC stuff and I want to progress, now I got to go back and just take care of it.
No, so it was awful for me because I didn't know what I was getting into. And then there was no way for me, I didn't have enough dragon souls to unlock the shouts that allow you to fight him and beat him.
Yeah, okay.
But the only way to get dragon souls is to kill dragon, but he would steal the souls from me. So I had to keep doing it until he couldn't, and there's all this weird stuff I had to do.
It's like a percentage though, like he doesn't steal the soul every time.
No, so I had to kill a lot of dragons.
Sure.
But when I was done,
it would kind of creep me out, man.
17 dragon.
The first time
because he gives you all the ones that that are
that's
left over. So like I had like 17.
Yeah,
I was like, this is why I haven't been getting any dragon souls. What's been going on?
It's weird because you'll take down a dragon, and then usually like there's like an animation thing where it's like basically you're sucking in the soul or whatever the hell's going on.
It's all fiery.
And I didn't realize what was going on or why it was happening, but it didn't happen. I was like, well, that's lame. I didn't get the dragon soul that time. But then there was it was kind of eerie, dude, because I don't remember if I fast traveled somewhere. Basically, Mirak, though, was just like had apparated in Skyrim, not in Solstein or whatever. And he was just watching me, right? And I was like, what's this? I like go up to him, I was swinging at him, trying to talk to him, and you can't do anything. He's just there, like with a weird like aura around him, just like watching me. And I was like, well, that's creepy.
Stop it.
And then maybe like 15, 20 minutes later in the game, he stole the soul that I wasn't able to harvest.
Some laggy stuff going on.
But yeah, it was weird. But yeah, no, now I got to take care of that business because otherwise he's gonna steal all themselves.
Yeah, and like, there's the weird books thing. So like that DLC is pretty cool. I wish I wouldn't have done it just because, like I said earlier,
I've got the book.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, there's a few of them. That whole area is pretty cool. And the reason I wish I would is there's like a special armor you can get from a special material.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay.
So like, once again, real nerdy about that stuff.
Dude, all these missions,
it's overwhelming.
It is
on your to-do list. You're like, oh my god.
But what's crazy is you'll get really deep into a particular like offshoot mission, whatever you got going on. And then you'll do something like with the Mirak thing. I was like, I've been, trucking away at it for a while. And I was like, I'm probably about to beat this guy or fight him or whatever. No. All of a sudden they'll be like, oh, and here's 13 more things you have to do. And I'm like, what? I'm never going to get this.
Yeah.
Same with the Thieves Guild stuff. Like it just kept going. I was like, this got to be getting close to the end. Like I got the armor, the cool, like the cool armor now and everything, the Nightingale armor and stuff. I'm like, I got to be getting close. And then they're like, oh no, now you got to do this other thing, this other thing, this other thing. It's like, what?
That's why sometimes it's so easy to slip into like 7 hours of gameplay, and then other times you're like, I have to do what? And see, you can't even play for 10 minutes without getting annoyed. So I'm all.
And it sounds like I'm complaining a little bit, but that is actually kind of cool too. It's like it's just, you know, I was trying to like plow forward so I could like be further in the storyline for this talk, but I don't know, man. I feel like now it's Skyrim, just doing it like Al Lauer said. Just take whatever you want.
You're just scrimming. That's all. There's always the agenda, because all I do is I just get lost in these caves, and I'm like, oh, it's really cool how they put those skulls over there. That makes it look creepy.
It's super creepy. Sometimes I'll be in a cave and I'll be like,
you ever get a jump scare from a skeleton? Don't lie to me.
I mean, not a skeleton or a drummer or whatever. I don't know.
Just
anything.
The things that just they appear out of nowhere, or like a trap. Like,
there's traps especially, dude, because there's some pretty gnarly traps. Some of them are so obvious, so I'm like, what the hell? But anyway, but there's some gnarly ones that pop out of nowhere, and they definitely get you to jump.
I like running my enemies into the giant traps and like, watching them, taking them out. But yeah, and like you get into those weird like dwarven structures, and like you just get lost in these huge areas that they created. And I'm just
are dwarves in the game, or they're like all died out or something?
You know, I don't know if I've seen any.
Okay, I think there's some of the lore there or whatever.
Just like
a bunch of lore or a bunch of dwarf equipment. Like a lot of places you go in there's all these machinery and stuff, and that's like from the dwarves. But I don't think I've run into a dwarf.
Back to the heady, like they have all these assets and these basically these toys to piece together, and then just for all these little caves and dungeons and things, they just allow people to. It would be fun to be on like the little creative teams that they had.
Sure.
But any other random tips or goofy stories? Mine would be Warhorse. You can buy a horse, but I'm just like trying to do some sneak archer stuff, and I'm zooming in because I unlocked that. I'm like, hell yeah! And then all of a sudden I see
it's kind of nice.
Right to the left of me, all of a sudden my horse is just charging into battle. He just took it on himself, so I'm trying to snipe from a distance, and I'm like, is that my fucking horse? And he's just like. He's taking on like 7 dudes and like kills 2 of them. And before my horse just gets killed, and I'm like, I fucking paid for that horse. God damn it. There's no way to call him that I know of. So I'm just like,
you have to fast travel or whatever.
Yeah. I'm just watching him get destroyed. I'm like, what are you doing? Just charging into battle. And I was like, hell yeah.
That is super
funny.
War horse. Dude, my horse be fighting for me too, dude. It's such a funny thing.
I didn't ask for this. Get out of here.
There was this weird, I don't remember, is this some random like, thing that I stumbled into, but I got off the horse to try and like sneak and take out some of these bandits, but I didn't know if they're like. That's another thing is it's hard unless so the little red dots will appear and you like, okay, that's for sure a bad guy.
You don't know if they're going to attack you. Is what you're
right. So I didn't know if so I was like, so I saved it because I learned that lesson.
Yeah.
But then I go in there and none of these bandits or whatever care about me. They're like, whatever, do whatever you want, dude. But my horse.
But your horse.
Dude, they did not like my horse. They all trying to kill my horse. And my horse is fighting them all. I'm like, well, I got to take them out because they're going to kill my horse. Dude, it was so funny. I don't know. I ended up taking them all down, but like no one cared about me. It was like a weird glitch in the game, which this game is notorious for like.
Riddled. I mean, they make such a huge, expansive game and so much
and
script.
It's kind of some of the charm of it, though, is like having these weird glitches. I can't remember if there's any other like silly. Oh, there's only one game break. Game breaking is an extreme term. There was only one glitch that did fuck up what I wanted to do in the game. And the horse thing was hilarious. I didn't mind that. That was great. Because my horse, battle horse, whatever. One thing, I can't remember now what the side mission was, but essentially I had a choice to make. Like I either had to help person X or person Y. And I wanted to help person X. But part of that was unlocking or breaking this dude, not breaking him out of jail, but like getting him out of jail, right? So I got the key for like basically you had to talk to the guard. The guard's I don't remember exactly what you had to do, but this guard's supposed to give you the key, and it's a known glitch within the PC version where he just never gave me the key. So I was forced to like I wanted to side with person X, but I was forced to side with person Y because I couldn't get the person out of the fucking jail.
Lame.
It's like one of those things. Like it kind of bummed me out because I was like, "Well, that's not what I wanted to do." But it was a side mission that didn't really have like a lot of big impact on the overall like.
Did your game ever crash?
Game. It hasn't on me yet.
Mine did like 2-3 times.
Oh, that's probably your computer, dude. I'm just kidding.
Nah, and I don't remember it freezing on the. I played on the PS3. As crazy.
Okay,
as
cool.
That is.
Yeah.
And that just kind of speaks to the oldness of the game. But yeah, like other like just goofy things about the game is just like. You're always just up some nonsense, just trying to see what you can get away with, and like Like, you ever getting beat up by those trolls? I feel like they immediately put those trolls
are tough.
Just to let you know not to mess with those trolls. But they put you right next to, killing dragons. We got to talk about dragons.
Let's
I can't believe.
I haven't had too much trouble. It is cool.
It's pretty cool. And I remember that being super cool when I first played the game, was just murdering these dragons and fighting these dragons.
Another thing we haven't mentioned.
Pick you up by the head?
No, that hasn't happened yet.
That one's pretty sweet when they rip you apart.
No, I've been pretty lucky so far. I don't know how many dragons I've killed, but they haven't. And I'm not that high of a level yet. I'm 27. And to my understanding, the dragons will get harder and harder as you continue. But I haven't, like, honestly, with my 85 two-handed, like, battle axe skills.
Not good dragon killing.
Dude, it doesn't work for me. So, like, I have that new shout that, like, knocks them out of the sky.
Yeah. And
then I just go and I just tear them apart. And it's worked out pretty well for me.
Sometimes when you're up close, they get to do, like, their one-hit kill thing to you.
Oh, yeah. That hasn't happened to me too much yet. And then before I got that shout, though, it was all because you have this beautiful map. Like, it's an older game, but the map's beautiful, but the scenery and everything's pretty fucking cool. Mm-hmm. And it is really cool to see this big ass dragon fly around to start tearing up a town and like perch on top of a building or something. You're like trying to hit it with arrows or whatever. And it's pretty cool, dude.
That one guard that's fighting alongside you.
Right. It's always fun too when you kill him.
Like Steve's shift.
Yeah.
Great. Dragon attacks on my shift.
Right. You like kill a dragon too, and all the other NPCs that are around helping you fight are like, oh, look. I cannot believe it. Yeah. Look what you done.
They should be generally more amazed with me.
Honestly.
Like, the amount of times the entire economy flows through me, especially when it comes to blacksmiths. So
knife seller.
Yeah, they say the same things to you every time.
Sure.
Looking to deal some damage?
Oh, man. Yeah. No, the fighting the dragon's cool. Like, the enemies in this are pretty fun. It was early game, and this isn't like that. When it first happened to me, I thought it was pretty like... Anyways, another little story just about the weird Skyrimness is I like ran into some dude outside of some tomb or something. He's like, "Well, help me out."
Sounds about right.
Yeah, he's like, "Help me out with this shit." I'm like, "All right." So I go in there, I take care of business.
Time.
Yeah, so I take care of business, but he dies. So I just I completed the mission and it worked out, but the dude just dies. So I was like, "Well, what happened with that story? I don't know." And then I looked in because you can look and to see your completed quests, and part of that quest was like, keep that dude alive. So I failed that part of the mission.
Did not keep that alive.
But I didn't, it was one of those things. I wasn't like, I'm not going to go back to a previous save just to help this dude out. Like, that was a hard enough battle early game. No. Like, I was like, I guess this is what Skyrim is. All right, see you later.
Many. So one thing that when you get deep up into this game, you just continuously think about what you would do the next time you played. Would you do the character the same, or would you?
Okay, so I told you earlier I did Redguard, and he looks badass, but like for the way that I ended up playing, I'm not, and I don't know enough about the other characters to know like which one I should have done, but I'm not sure I'll go with Redguard. There's been enough people that are like, Redguard's fucking stupid. That I'm like, okay, maybe I made the wrong choice.
He looked cool. Okay.
He does. He still looks cool. I'm not like, I don't know. It's whatever. And if you put enough time in, you can max out any ability that you want.
Yeah.
So like,
oh, for sure.
So I'm not sure. When I give it another go, like it might be fun to do. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any regrets there. I do have like a slight regret's not the right word, but I probably wouldn't have like overly maxed out my two-hand right at the get-go. I probably would have tried to balance that between like one-handed and two-handed as opposed, because now it's like what I wrote it down. My one-handed scale is 25 and my two-handed is 84.
Yeah.
So it's like
dropping that 84 is really proud of that two-hand.
It's my highest one.
It's really proud of that two-hand.
And there's other things, like it took me a long time to start learning how to do, not conjuration, the one where you are like giving abilities to items. What's that called?
Enchanting.
So enchanting, I think, is super cool.
Yeah, no, it goes hand in hand with smithing.
Right. So like I do think, and I haven't done too much smithing yet, and I think enchanting, I think I would like, and I probably will continue as I continue this game to put more time into those two deals, because I just like, it would behoove me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I tried the mage thing, and if I redid it, I don't think I'd bother with the mage, or I'd approach it differently.
Sure.
But I think I should just be an orc.
Oh, right on.
Orcs are really into smithing and then two-handed weapons, and all this hype about the two-handed weapons, I got to get in there with that. And
it is fun, dude. They have little animations, like if you like when you're playing someone and you like chop off someone's head or something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Have you, just take a guess what Skyrim currently costs on Switch right now?
Oh, Switch? It's probably still $60.
$60. But I'm very much going to wait for it to go on a deep enough sale because I want to play it on the Switch.
Oh, dude. I feel you.
I just want to be a brute on the Switch. I just want to be a tank that just smashes and loots and gets lost doing weird things.
Dude, you should get a Steam Deck.
Nope.
Oh, come on. That's what I'm going to do. Because I got it on Steam, so I'll be able to play handhold when the Steam Deck comes. That would be
cool, actually.
So the problem with, and I agree, like it would be super fun to have this handheld on Switch, but the problem is you don't have cross-save ability. So
I want to start over anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Good for you. It just bugs me because like there are Witcher 3. Shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Witcher 3, you have cross save, and then it's so cool. Like, because I didn't have a PC when I first started Witcher 3. I started on the Switch, and that's like a beautiful game for when it was made and everything. And on the Switch, it's dumbed down, but it's such a good game that didn't bother me. And then I started playing on my PC, and it's like oh amazing.
Yeah.
But I was able to transfer my whole save there, and I can play back and forth. If I want to play handheld, I can do that. And I just wish that we could do that with Skyrim, but I don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, but like I want to choose.
They just want you to buy it everywhere.
Yeah, they do. I want to choose the other side of the war.
Sure.
I want to try to play the game where I don't focus on the east side of the map so much. I want to like just get to the west as fast as possible.
Right on.
Like just kind of play out more of those missions because I accidentally followed a very similar path most times.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it was previously one of my top 10 rated games of all time personally.
Yeah.
Impact and everything. Would
I throw it in there?
Would you throw it in your top 10,000? Because Alex's list is always like, well, 7.
I like this game a lot, and I've put 40. I haven't put enough time into the game, and it hasn't had an impact on me enough to be like, this is in my upper echelon of games, but I have respect for this game.
Yeah. You've been spoiled because of the road this game laid out for others.
Exactly. Honestly. So I do have Witcher 3 in my top 5 games for sure. And the similarities between the two they're very similar. Very different too, obviously. Yeah. But I'm just gonna say it. I like Witcher 3 more.
Witcher 3 is like a better story.
Way better story. And that's like,
but like this is more choose your own adventure.
And I like that about this game. I like that about this game. The different, like the Witcher 3, the story is great. The way the exploration is great. I will say with Skyrim, the whole fact that you can the fact that you're talking about like wanting to go in and have a totally different type of playthrough.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that same experience in Witcher 3, right?
Not really.
Like, so
There's
you're gonna
some side quests that you might, but not really.
Hit the side quests, but the side quests are basically mercenary missions, right?
Yeah.
So like you're not going to, if you replay Witcher 3, you'll probably enjoy it because it's fucking dope.
Yeah.
But it's you could approach this game and like just do it completely differently than the first time around. So I think that's super cool. Ask me again next month because I'm going to continue playing this game like where it is. No, I will, man. I'm too committed now.
I hope you do. Yeah. Just gotta see that ending. Gotta beat Mirok.
I mean, I really like it. Honestly, dude, there was times like when I was like sitting there, or not sitting there, but like I would be thinking about it and be like, I just need to get back to Skyrim and just keep tearing through these missions and stuff. And it's a super fun game, and it's super fun.
I'm shocked I never replayed it outside of that first time, and now that I've replayed it finally,
now you want to replay it again.
Now I want to play it again, but not on the PC.
Sure.
Just on a Switch. Elder Scrolls 6, when it comes out in 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't think they have anything at all yet. They probably have like maybe a roadmap themselves.
Yeah, I don't know where they are in the process. I know that they are saying it's going to be on multi-platforms, but who knows?
Are they even saying that?
I don't know. I think so. I think I've read that somewhere or saw that somewhere that they aren't going to make it. It would make sense for them to release it multi-platform just because everybody's going to want to play it. So like and I think Microsoft, now that they own Bethesda, like it doesn't make any sense for them financially.
Sony plays.
But Microsoft is kind of, their stance is like not about hardware anymore. Like they're really pushing software. So I don't understand why they wouldn't want to just put it out everywhere.
Well, Starfield's going to be Xbox exclusive, which is a bummer because I really, really want that one. That's Scrim in space.
But if it's Xbox exclusive, it will likely come to PC. And and exclusive is a weird thing these days. Like it's like a window sometimes.
Well, with everyone buying up all the publishers, it could get weird. But the reason I bring up is because someday they'll make it. Do you have any input as to what you would like to see in Elder Scrolls 6 when it finally comes out? Obviously a new map. I think The games may or may not, should do research on it, but be named after the different continents. So Skyrim's like a very Nordic continent. Oblivion, I'm not sure of, but I think it is its own area because characters will refer to their homeland of Oblivion.
Right.
Then Morrowind is the same way. Right. So I would assume it's a brand new place, which is cool. I'd like to see even more like character races and crazy stuff like that. Yeah. I'd like to see nerdier production chain things because I'm super into all the weird smithing and all that. And an expansion of like that property management. But like
I've gotten used to it, but managing your items in this game is a pain in the ass.
I kind of meant like when I was building that house.
Word. Okay, yeah.
But like I think
you want the Sims within Skyrim.
Sims. I want cities,
which you can like Scrolls. Marry up and you can like have kids. Like
I had a kid who's like, I just wish I had a home. I was like, I am not adopting you, child. Get back to your work because he was working at a stable complaining about it.
Sure.
No, but like I think the game's super far off. I think they're gonna like I don't know what direction video games are being held in, but like I think some of the bigger franchises like Bethesda games and like Destiny or like GTA, I feel like those are becoming like it's just as much about like that online market space as well.
Oh, sure.
And the Elder Scrolls does have that huge online thing, but I'm talking like whenever they make a new game, I just like, how do you make a bigger game than this one? And that's probably what they're wrestling with.
Sure.
And I think the answer has something to do with like some massive, massive game where like cities, like, because although the cities are pretty big, you still got like what feels like 20 people in them.
Sure.
So, more making it feel like there's actually hundreds of people, if not thousands and thousands and thousands living there. That might be kind of crazy, but there's going to be something like where the map's just mind-bogglingly big.
That would be really cool. I think that I don't really have any I don't have like a wish list of like, because I also haven't played enough of this game quite yet, where I can be like, these are the improvements I need. I think just because this game was first unleashed in 2011, and now we're 2022 or whatever.
Yeah. I'd like to run a kingdom. That's all.
Yeah,
I want a city.
Right. So that's
a kingdom.
I do love your idea of like it would be because there's definitely NPCs running around, but it does seem a little sparse sometimes. You're right. So if there was just like a massive amount of like NPCs that were like actually kind of cool and like doing stuff like that could be really interesting. I think it would be. So the way that the game works, and this is kind of like a software, like a development thing, and it's for instance, when you go in this game, when you open a door, it loads and to go to the next area, right?
Yeah.
So like I think with like a PS5 and some of the computers and Xbox and all that shit, I think we're at a point where, depending on how big the map is, so if the map's too big, you can't do this, but like, which I would love to see, just an expansive map.
Yeah.
So, but it would be cool to have like a smoother to be able to have like to actually open a door and not have to like go through a load. Not that it takes a long time for my computer to load it up, but that smoothness, that transition would be cool.
Yeah.
So I think that would be cool. What else? Not
just
much.
Somehow more weapons and enemies. Even more.
I mean, just polished up just to make it look prettier. And it's a pretty game, but it's like, the graphics are dated. So there's nothing too much I would want. This is pretty basic vanilla stuff, like stuff you would expect in a new age game.
I just like it because it's been around for 10 years and they haven't done a new one. I just expect them to go like something so massive and forward where it's kind of like, maybe I want something for simpletons like this.
Sure. Word, man. No, it's been fun though. And I think that, it'll be interesting. Ask me a couple episodes if where it is in my top 10 list. One day we'll have to do a top 10 list, an actual one.
Yeah.
Is it still in yours? Is that what you're saying? Still in your top 10?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Top 5?
The parallels of playing on winter break.
Sure.
10 years removed is, and it's almost like I didn't wait that long to play Breath of the Wild again.
Mm-hmm.
But I did for this game, so it was basically like rediscovering the whole thing. But yeah,
that's cool.
I'm glad I finally found a way to force you to play.
I appreciate it. Non-sanctioned sponsor
is my Mario Golf lessons, because I be teaching these hoes. Alex sucks, needs lessons. Ben Strukins is a fucking amateur. Ben Strukins needs some lessons, so it's more of a private academy for your lame little children who can't play Mario Golf. Get fricked.
Mario Golf.
Yeah, everybody I play sucks. I just need some real competition, so just let me know.
Well, you put in the hours, dude. I've seen I've seen your Switch times. I still play that game. Our unsanctioned sponsor, Nintendo Mario Golf, still pretty dope. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Unlocked the Luigi. No, I'm keeping it.
Nah.
Keeping it all.
Well, yeah, Luigi, they still won't be. They're still cowards. They won't take my Luigi's Mansion idea.
He's got
still
the new
like
skin
the
though.
Skin. Yeah.
I pop in and play for that shit.
Yeah, no, it was nice.
Yeah, you got like 50 hours on that game though.
Oh, it's more than that. That's very generous of you.
50,
But,
60.
yeah, you know what? Anyway, Mario Golf, it's a good time. What are you playing these days, bud?
I've been playing a lot of Skyrim and it has been taking up the majority of the time, but of course, I've been playing a few other things. We've got Dead Cells on the docket, so I have been playing some Dead Cells already.
Well. It's fun.
It has been a lot of fun, so I'm glad that I'm looking forward to having a more in-depth conversation about Dead Cells. Games outside of that have been on the rotation. Nemesis for Game Boy. So Nemesis is all over the place, but it is one of
Not
those.
SSX Tricky, my guy.
I've played a little bit. Yeah, Luke hooked it up for Christmas. A little SSX Tricky Game Boy Advance. It is a fun little game to have, but it's kind of a shit game.
Yeah, I assumed.
But it's fun. But Nemesis is a Game Boy. It's one of those Game Boy games because all Game Boy games, whatever. Nemesis is cool, dude. It's a side-scrolling shmup of sorts. So side, you know, you go on the side, you get all these weapon upgrades, and the Game Boy version of it is super fun, and I like playing that one. Tetris 99 is actually a game.
Of a bitch.
So I love Tetris.
Son of a bitch.
But Tetris 99.
My students play Tetris during class, and I'm like, I ain't even mad.
I would let them.
Yeah, I'm like, it's good for your brain. At least you're doing some.
Just, you know, trying to manage chaos.
Yeah.
But I avoided Tetris 99. I'm like, I'm not going to play this game. This is, you know, like, I'll just play other forms of Tetris. And then it, like, slowly somehow crept into my rotation.
Got to you.
I mean, it's fun, dude. And you can, every once in a while, they'll do little events where you can get a new, like, background and stuff. So they had, like, a Skyward Sword. I think they had a Skyward Sword event. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So you get, like, different, like, backgrounds and shit. So, like, every time, it's kind of like Mario Golf, where it's like, oh, this is a cool little thing. So I'll play it just enough to, like, get this little bonus. Metroid Fusion, I think I mentioned I was playing that last time. I'm probably about 3/4 of the way through that on a Game Boy Advance right now. That's been fun, especially after playing Dread to play that one. But it's one that I sat down on a few weeks ago and haven't picked it back up, but I will because I'm far enough in it where I think it's worth just checking that off the list again. I beat that one a few times in the past. It's a really good one. Empire of Sin.
Nice. I
was
can
a
only
game.
do so much.
Yeah, so that was Gangsters back in the day on DOS PC or whatever. A relatively new. It's like the spiritual successor to Gangsters, Organized Crime. And I haven't played a ton of it yet. I used to have Game Pass.
It's pretty rare that you're in my management sim neighborhood.
Yeah, so I dropped Game Pass a while ago just because I just wasn't playing enough of the games on there.
Premium backlog.
Yeah, premium backlog for sure. And it's like I have enough of a regular backlog where I was like, I don't need to be paying for this every month. Shout out to Microsoft. You want to hook that up and we'll like talk about the games that you have on there. But no, so like if I had an Xbox Series X or S, like I would definitely use the Game Pass. Like 100%. I think it's cool. But for me right now, there's no need for me to continue having that on my computer.
Not when I'm just going to play Cities Skylines.
But I bring it up because Empire of Sin was on there, so I did dabble in it a little bit, and I've been keeping an eye on it for it to hit a nice Steam sale, and now I do have that on Steam, and I've been having some fun with that one. And the last one that I'm going to shout out is Toe Jam and Earl. I can't remember the Toe Jam and Earl whatever, but it's the new Switch one. And I had played Toe Jam and Earl back on Sega, like back in the day. Not like crazily, but it's definitely a throwback. But it was on like a super Switch sale. Dude, no, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I don't know. You like go around this weird map. There's all these, it's like this funky music. And it's just like, when I first, so I got it on
90s
super.
good times.
Totally. Super 90s vibe, super throwback. And it's, once you figure out how to play, it's fun. But because I got it on a super Switch sale, it was like maybe $2-3 or something. But I first started playing and I was like, oh shit, this is whack. But then I kept playing it and I figured out like how it actually works. And you have these different, you're like, at least I haven't played that much of it yet, but you like move up the levels on these, basically get this map. You dropped on this map and you go around collecting things, avoiding enemies. And you can either play as Toe Jam or Earl. Two different very 90s characters that have Earl's like a bit bigger and slower or whatever. They have different, like, there's different reasons to play as each.
Sure.
But anyways, dude, you run around. They just like say like weird things happen. There's like weird animations and Yeah, it's just kind of a charming, like fun, weird little throwback game. So I've been playing that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How about you, dude?
Well, it's been years since I had a save file mismanagement mishap, but on the NSO, my Paper Mario I was playing, and I had the COVID a while back, and I played a bunch of hours in a day, and then none of my save came through. So now I was actually really into it too. So now I can't. It's that classic like.
Shoot.
Someone oversaved your thing or something messed up and you have to redo that. And you're like, but am I ever going to? So I never picked it back up. That's been a travesty.
Right.
I've been playing Twilight Princess on the Wii.
I'm jealous. I haven't played that game yet.
Kinda. I just really wish it was not on the Wii the whole time. And the graphics are kind of rough. I'm not too snobby about stuff like that, but like... They're dark.
Yeah.
And it's not just like the material is dark, but like the game itself is dark. Like I had to brighten up the TV a bunch.
You're playing on a newer TV, not like a new TV, but you're playing on an HD TV. If you had if you're doing like the old school and had some nice like component cables going on, it would look a little better for you.
It would, but like that all being said, it's just kind of
tell your wife that you need to buy like a $1,000 monitor, like old school Sony PVM.
Nope. But I really just want them to release on that on Switch. I'll still play it, and it's still a pretty cool game. I don't know quite how I feel about it. Sometimes I'm like, this game's really cool. And then sometimes I'm like, this game's incredibly stupid.
I'm going to hold out for Switch. They'll port it at some point,
sure.
Right?
But the whole debate will be as to whether or not it is better or worse than Skyward Sword. So stay tuned. Then a ton of Dead Cells. And Slay the Spire still. And I'll actually end up bringing up Slay the Spire on the Dead Cells pod.
Speaking of hours logged, dude, I saw you got like 50 hours on Slay the Spire.
Hour shaming over here. What the fuck, dog? Capital G gamer, get fricked, dude. But yes, it is a great game to play whilst one is watching TV.
Sure.
Or passively watching some Olympics. So it's been a good time. So I actually cycle between a run of Dead Cells, then a run of Slay the Spire, and then I'll finish up with a quick online match of Mario Golf.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to unlock all the club sets in Mario Golf, so it's a goofy little goal.
Do you have to play as different characters to do that, or can you keep doing it as one? Okay, you do. Yeah.
And like only some modes count towards it, so like you have to play quite a bit of matches, but it's a nice reason to keep playing. So cool. The NSO, we got Majora's Mask coming up. I'm gonna play that right away. That's this month, and I did play the first level of Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, you did?
It's cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed that game a lot back in the day. I don't know if I'll keep
going back to that, but it's cool, and I can see why people like it. So,
yes.
And then Cities Skylines, because it's the greatest. And someday, I will get Alex to actually play the game.
Hey, man, you got me to play Skyrim.
This is true. One step at a time.
Well, cool, dude. I think that's it. That's a wrap. Game over, bud.
Ben Strugan sucks at Mario Golf. What a bitch.
Low five, give me some. That was the worst low five. Low five, give me some. There we go. All right, everybody. Till next time.
Outro music.
Lo-Fi Gaming is a Studio Lo-Fi production. Our theme music was produced by AJ Norman, and our show art was designed by Studio Dayjob. We're an independent podcast and would love if you supported us by listening, subscribing, and sharing us with your friends. Visit us at lo5gaming.com. Want me to edit that one out there, bud?
Edit that one out. That's nasty. Jesus, give me one drink.